Hi, welcome to Ghost Talk. I'm here in St. John with my partner and buddy, Butch Leon. Tonight we have a special guest, Chris Tillman from on in Toledo. First, I'd like to thank everybody for joining us tonight. And I want to give a shout out to our class, the Ghost Hunting 101 class, for anybody that may be tuned in tonight. Welcome, guys. Hey, tonight is kind of a special show. We have a lot of information to get out. Butch, we've been kind of busy. I know you've been busy. It was hard getting you here tonight, so thank you for stopping out. I'm going to read a little bit as we go, just that way I don't forget anything. As you guys know, Butch and I and the team just finished our private investigation last weekend in a house in Pemberville, Ohio. Butch tends to think that we may have a couple of things that need a second look at. I haven't had the opportunity to do my own analyzing yet, but you seem to be pretty excited about a couple of things.
Well, it's more or less the Opera House and maybe a couple things at the house itself. The private residence, it does need a second look at. As you know, we double look at everything we do.
Well, and when we were down to the Opera House, down to the private residence last weekend, we had a great opportunity. It was just a coincidence that Mr. Fields had walked in again, so we had an opportunity to have dinner with him, and he had told us some more stories about the Opera House. More importantly, at that time, you got to tell him that on one of the DVR cameras, or static night vision cameras, that maybe one of the curtains was moving, so we need to take a closer look at that. So when we go back down to the Pemberville Library a week from Monday to do our presentation, we're going to stop into the Opera House again.
Yeah, we're going to check it out, make sure that there was no other way that them things could have been moving via registers or, windows or whatever. But
well, you said the heat ducts or the air conditioning vents were like 18 feet away from there.
Yeah, there was quite a distance. Yeah, but I'm pretty hyped up on.
Well, I'm excited. I think it's good that you're going back down to spend some time at the Opera House to maybe try to recreate it or debunk it at that time. So it's yet to be known if we think that the Opera House is haunted, but it sure seems exciting, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
Well, we spent this entire week doing some of our public presentations. I want to thank Lisa from the Toledo Lucas County Library, the Birmingham branch, for inviting us in on Monday. That was a great time. Yeah. We had some technical difficulties, but we made it through it all right.
Right.
And we followed up again, I believe it was a Friday at the Toledo Heights Library.
Right.
And Connie she treated us like kings. We had a beautiful room and
good turnout, real good turnout.
A packed house. So we're going to continue to do that as we move on to the Sylvania Historical Society this coming Wednesday for a 7 o'clock presentation. That's going to be in historical downtown Sylvania, Ohio, right there at 5717 Main Street. So anybody wants to come out and watch these free admission PowerPoint presentations, come out and see us. You can meet the team, and I think we're going to have some giveaways, maybe some T-shirts or tote bags at that time too. So it's exciting.
Great. Store prizes.
So, we've been busy doing our things, but, I don't know I'm sure most everybody knows Chris Tillman and I are very, very good friends. We've had opportunity this year to work together quite a bit, which I've thoroughly enjoyed, a different perspective on the way he does things. But he knows I especially love his documentaries, his 2-Minute Tales and his Legends of Ohio. It's something that I want to do as well. Chris has promised to teach me how to do these things. Once again, I'm lacking some tech skills, I think. So listen, I've been following. I watched the news a couple of weeks ago, and on Channel 24, there you were, and it was talking about a bone house. Mm-hmm. You had set up an investigation, or you got that call, and you had actually found some bones in the house. What was going on there?
That was the guy bought the house for like $1,000. It sat empty for maybe 10 years, and he just was going to renovate it, rent it out, make some money. And when he started knocking into walls, it's just like a flood of animal bones come falling out of this wall. Would have freaked out anybody.
Would have scared me.
Yeah. And as it turns out, it's the walls in the living room and the floorboards in the attic were just filled with what looked like cut animal bones. He stopped all work on the house, called the police, and they packed up a bunch of the bones, had the coroner look at it, and they're all canine, but they all got tool marks on them. They were cut.
That doesn't make any sense. Why would they be carving up animal bones
And putting them in the attic floor.
and hiding them, so
Yeah.
to speak?
Well, they were also hidden with ladies' undergarments, some toys, some personal items like combs.
That's really strange.
So I mean, either somebody was really mentally disturbed or there was something else going on.
Do you think that there could have been an outside chance of maybe some satanic
No.
occult things, nothing like that going on?
Maybe Santeria, but I mean, that's the kind of neighborhood the house is in. But yeah, nothing satanic, nothing.
How did your crew feel about that when they're going in here finding these types of things? Did they get rattled or?
I think most of us were excited about it, but some were a little nervous.
I find it disturbing, a little bit
It is.
disturbing.
Oh, yeah.
Butch and I did a house in South Toledo years ago where we began to pick up bones, and we had left the premises. The old saying is, "When in doubt, get out." Well, I have my limits to what I'll do, and once I start finding bones and other things behind walls, I don't care what kind of seasoned investigator you are. I think you get rattled by those things. So your crew went in there. You did an investigation.
We did too.
You did 2 investigations. What'd you find?
There was some odd audio here and there, but for the most part, I think our goal was to go in there and show that the homeowners had nothing to be afraid of. That the house is fine.
That was your conclusion? But did you find anything that documented paranormal?
Some odd audio. Some things we heard that didn't really seem to make sense.
Human or non-human?
And there was some growling.
Growling?
But I mean, that's all something we still have to go through it again and again and again.
Yeah, funny, but with investigation, analyzing seems like it never ends.
Right. The history with the house is weird. It had a few different addresses since it was built. So I would still want to go and do a more thorough research on
So the
house.
case isn't closed yet.
Not yet.
How is the client?
They're scheduled to have a house blessing.
Are they?
So
Well, you have a friend that can do that, right? And part of your crew, who I've yet to meet, but I guess I'm pretty quick. I'm going to get a chance to meet him. So you did the bone house,
Yep.
and then I was watching you on Facebook last week. Well, obviously I talk to you a few times a week as well. You had informed me that you're going to the Toledo Repertory Theater. I find that place to absolutely I love that. I love the repertory. I was fascinated that you had an opportunity to do that. So what happened? How'd that even come about?
well, I just have a list of places I want to hit in Toledo. The legends I want to tell, the stories I want to tell. And Sarah's just been doing her job, contacting each one and scheduling each one, and Toledo Rep came through, and we scheduled it right away.
Your crew does things a little bit different than Butch and I and my team. We sit back a lot of times, and you'll get a phone call or an email about a haunted location. Could we come out and help the family? I think what you're doing is really cool, and I kind of like it. I've had an opportunity to follow you along on a couple of places too. So you're reaching out, and what I like about it, and I was talking to Becky about it, is from a historical standpoint. I mean, you're getting to see some really cool old buildings, and some of them, that may not be here in a few years. So, what are you trying to get out of this? Is it, you want to tell the history of the building, a history of all the people that came and went, or all the businesses? I mean, what is your goal? What is the?
It's the history of the location, the legends behind it, and then we want to talk and record the experiences of eyewitnesses. It's all about it's like the ghost story in printed form, except we're doing it on video.
And now this eventually will find its way back to your 2-minute tales or something longer.
Yeah.
Well, I heard rumors that you're about to come out with a book as well. So are any of these stories that we're following you on Facebook, are they going to eventually end up, some of them, in your book? Or
the actual ghost story part of it will end up in the book, but the investigation stuff that we do is going to go to the videos.
I find that fascinating. So you were there, I think, last weekend at the Repertory Theater, and you said that you investigated until 4 a.m. I mean, that's into the early morning hours of Sunday. What'd you find there? I mean, there's got to be a ton of history there, a ton of absorbed energy in that building. How old is that building?
It's been around for a very long time, over 100 years. But
It's over 100 years old.
The rep has only been there, I think, 80 or 85.
I can remember when I was much younger, going to watch shows there. Before I think I moved out to the Stranahan, A Christmas Carol once was played there. So, and I had worked right around the corner from there. I had an opportunity to go in there and watch several shows. What I remember best was the cookie trays and the snacks that you had downstairs with the juice while you were in intermission. I was always wondering where the meat trays and stuff. I'd be going for the the beef brisket or something like that, and something cold to drink. So, but I always enjoyed the repertoire theater. It's just something that I always used to do. I love to watch the shows. So, is the Toledo Repertoire Theater haunted, in your opinion?
If you go by the claims of the people that have experienced things there, it tends to lean that way.
Mm-hmm.
When we were there, there was a lot of personal experiences, but there wasn't really a whole lot to be documented. Some interesting personal experiences.
But it was really cool, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Just to be there to say you did it.
I have a question. In the dressing rooms, like when we did the Humberville Opera House, there was a lot of the actors and actresses wrote on a wall that what time of the year that they were there.
Names and
Did they do the same thing there?
They did it behind the stage.
Behind the stage, not in the dressing room.
No, there was a stairwell that comes up from the green room to the stage area, and those entire walls are just covered with messages, people's names.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
So what's going on at the Repertoire Theater now? Are they still hosting shows and things like that?
Yeah.
So anybody would interest maybe watching it, like a holiday show coming up or something?
Still an active theater.
So it's a very active theater still to this day. So I think it was cool that you got to investigate it. I would think anybody wants to see the Repertoire, you might want to go see that building, watch a show. Someday that building's not going to be there anymore. So I think if you want an opportunity to go out there, you should. And maybe it's haunted there. So you had a huge case this past weekend. You were there last night. I had seen you guys on your Facebook page, Haunted Toledo Facebook page, putting some short live videos out there on location at the Commodore Perry downtown.
Yeah.
I've always heard rumors. I was telling Butch earlier. Butch said, I didn't realize that building was haunted. I said, Butch, I've always heard rumors about it, but it was almost like a secret out there. What is going on at that building?
The legends are that what people are claiming is they can hear piano music playing, and there's no piano there. Even people that work there still hear it.
You know what I think I heard? I think that maybe, and you hear this about a lot of locations, a woman in white or a girl in white. Am I right or wrong, or was something like that linked to this building as well? What was going on with that?
People are seeing this little girl in the hallways. They're seeing her. In the legend, they were seeing her in the
all
stairs.
Through the building, or
yes, mainly in the stairs leading up to the lobby, to the bar area, to the ballroom. We did hear piano music.
Is the piano still there?
There is no piano there.
Nowhere in the building does there a piano. And yet you heard the piano music?
We were still setting up, and we were checking the camera placement in the grand ballroom, which is like way too big for our lights to even penetrate.
Mm-hmm.
And we checked the camera placement, and I heard, like someone was tickling the keys on a piano.
You don't find that scary?
I realized, piano, that there's supposed to be phantom pianos here. And so it just hit me, and then I turned around, and Nicole was sitting behind me, and she was already taking off looking for where the source was.
Did you by
No,
any chance?
we were still setting everything up. Nothing got recorded at all.
That's happened to us so many times. We've also been very lucky sometimes because your recorder's running early, but boy, wouldn't that have been great to get that documented?
Yeah.
So, here's the thing. You got a big building. How many floors is it? How many stories is that?
19.
19 stories. And how many floors did you look at?
Second, third, and fourth were open to us.
That's a lot to try to cover in one night in that.
Yeah.
What's the story with the girl? Why would she be there? When you check the history,
Nobody knows.
she had no part of the building. And
I looked up the death records for that building. There's nothing comes up. It's going to be because it was a hotel, then it was a motor lodge, then it was empty from 1980 to late 90s, and now it's an apartment complex. So trying to figure out who this girl might be, if she's real, if the ghost is real, it's going to take a lot of digging.
yeah, that's a lot of work, but a lot of fun, don't you agree?
Yeah.
So the 3 buildings you've done, the Toledo Repertoire Theater, the Bone House, and now the Commodore Perry, all 3 of those are pretty exciting buildings to to be able to get an opportunity to investigate. And you got other things in the works. I know that you someone we can't talk about tonight that sound like exciting. So I was joking with you earlier when I talked to you this afternoon. You said, "Oh, I'm going to have to lay down, maybe take a nap for half an hour before I can make it over to the house." You guys have truly been really busy, just doing different things that we're doing. But busy's busy, and this truly is a really busy time of the year. I always tease you and say, well, in about 3 weeks from now, nobody's going to know our name again, and nobody will call us. And there'll be days go by when we're, give us a chance to write our books and do other things though. So, and late at night now, and how many times do I call you or you call me or we text and it's midnight?
Yeah.
And we always tease each other. Are you still ghosting? Well, unfortunately I am. So, especially in September and October, it doesn't seem like our work never ends. You work all day at your regular job. You get home, maybe get a little something to eat, and then you're right back on the computer. You're writing, or your Butch is analyzing. I mean, there's always something to do. So, when is this book going to be out? Tell us a little bit about your book.
This time next year.
So it's going to be out next year. Do you know what the title or the name of it's going to be or anything?
I haven't really picked one yet.
Are you able to share with us any of the stories that might be in there, like with the Bone House or any of those stories be in this book?
Bone House, probably not. I'm going to put in stories that are like local legends that anybody can visit, businesses, parks, cemeteries, stuff like that. Just the basic.
Is Tony Packo's going to make a book?
He'll be in there.
That was one of the locations that we all got to do together again. And it's funny, I added your 2-minute tale, your documentary, into our PowerPoint presentation this year to share. I wanted people from the Toledo area, to hear about Tony Packo's and some of its legends, be it haunted or not haunted. It was funny, the reaction I got from, at the Library Friday. It was, they wanted to see it when I presented it. And of course, Butch had a personal experience on there, which is a running discussion that we constantly have about that chandelier. Was it moving or not moving? And we put the girls up in front, the kids were up front, and I said, as I was showing after your documentary, I said, if the chandelier moves and we have no reason for it moving, we're going to call it paranormal. And you guys are going to make the decision. You're going to speak on behalf of the Toledo Ohio Ghost Hunters Society. And they were all at the edge of the chairs, really staring at the chandelier, and simultaneously all blurted out, "It's moving. That place is haunted." So I just wanted everybody to know that a handful of kids from the Toledo Heights Library have claimed now that Toledo's very own Tony Packo's is haunted, and you were right from the get-go. So isn't it kind of funny? We're having some fun doing it. So
Yeah.
It's just one of those things where we could neither prove it nor disprove it. And you and I, and Butch and I, have had long conversations. And what's really funny? It reminds me of that at the Opera House. You have on your camera, like we said earlier in the show, the curtains moving, and even Jim Field says there's no reason those curtains should be moving. And I didn't really want to say anything. I kind of kept it from everybody. But once Butch came out and said that night I was touched on the elbow by the curtain. But it's dark. I'm swaying back and forth. I'm as you know, I probably weigh 180 pounds. I mean, sometimes it just takes me a little bit to get adjusted. I think I might have bumped into him, but I'm not sure. It's just one of those things. I'm not sure. Now that Butch says the curtains were moving, well, now I'm really not sure. I just can't wait for us to get back down there and see if that's debunkable or not. If not, I've had my very own personal experience, and Butch can tell you, I don't have very many personal experiences. I mean, I'm the guy that never gets the EVP and never gets anything.
Well, the thing is, you're always going for coffee.
Yeah, I'm always going for coffee. Well, if it's dark and scary, you know where I'm at. I'm at tech. I'm like always really busy. So, Toledo Repertoire Theater, still up for debate whether it's haunted or not. Obviously, you've got a ton of analyzing to do on the Commodore Perry. But if you're hearing a piano, is it too early to call it?
Oh, it's a personal experience. I think a lot of what we're going to be doing.
Well, if you would have documented on audio, that's much more than a personal experience.
You still have, was it a radio? Because there's still people living in the building. From the 5th floor on up, there's people living.
Yeah, but you know how bad I want to say it's haunted. I'm just teasing.
I'd love to say it's haunted.
Yeah.
But
Would you stay there?
I stayed there last night.
Well, I mean, stay like in the haunted room or anything?
Yeah.
It wouldn't bother you at all?
It might.
You know, would you stay there?
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys are a lot braver than me. I think I'll pass, all right? I don't want to roam the hallways at night and see a little girl. That kind of stuff scares me. We were in an attic one time, and little girls don't scare anybody, right? Remember at 1:30 or whatever in the morning, little girl singing to me. She was about 7, I guess, with clients said. I don't think stuff like that's funny. So what's next for Audit Toledo? What do you guys got on your schedule? I mean, we're down to a couple of weeks here. What Halloween things are you doing?
We got a convention coming up, and I think
Yeah,
next
I mean,
week.
we'll talk a little bit about that. The Glass City Paracon
Yeah.
2017, we get to spend the day together again. That's gonna be good. But I've also heard that maybe Tuesday you may be doing a public, or is it not public
It's
presentation
mainly for the residents.
for the residents, so it's kind of exclusive for them?
Yeah.
What are you gonna talk about?
I don't know, dirty jokes maybe, you know, sports.
Ghost movies, things like that? is what you're
Ghost
saying?
movies,
Right.
talk about that.
Yeah, so, do you expect a packed house, or is this just something different and unique, or
It's
what are you walking
different.
into?
Definitely different. It's just like a retirement community, assisted living community, and I think it's strange to stand there and talk to old folks about ghost stories because they're so close to,
You know
being
what,
a
you
ghost
know what,
themselves.
Trust me, they really pay attention. They do.
We've done it, dozens of times, except for the one or two people that fall asleep. I mean, the crowd's a pretty good crowd, and I always get the one that's sitting up front, and just doesn't believe anything I'm saying. And then afterwards, they just say that they hope you're not coming back. When I say, happy Halloween, be safe, and it was nice talking to everybody. You get all kinds in a place like that. So, are you looking forward to doing that?
Yeah.
Are you going to be doing more of them if you're asked? I mean,
If
so
I'm
it's something
asked.
so it's something you enjoy doing?
Yeah, I do, but I'm not actively looking to do it. I'm just, if the calls come in, I'll do it.
I think it's cool that you're doing that. Maybe if you're not doing anything Wednesday, maybe you can come out to our presentation at the
No, I'm just,
Sylvania Historical Society. Maybe join us, and
I'll be there to heckle you.
yeah, that's okay. I get heckled all the time. So what's your next investigation? What do you got up your sleeve? What's going on? Anything you can talk about, or not too early?
We have things scheduled out, but it's really too early to talk about any of that stuff.
Well, I know one thing with the Ghost Hunting 101 class. Oh, and I want to jump in for a minute. And if anybody's commenting or something, or he has a question, you can yell at us if you need to refresh your page. Ghost Hunting 101 at Owens Community College is going great. We just finished our 3rd class. You would come out to our 2nd class. We didn't do Ghost Talk last week, so never had an opportunity to thank you. You were our guest speaker that night, and you went over some folklores and some legends and the importance of research. And you truly are a good public speaker. I enjoyed it. It seemed like it captivated the class as well. I had gotten a couple of emails afterwards about what a great class it was, and that's pretty good feedback. And what do you think about doing that? Going into with Butch and I into a Ghost Hunting 101 class? I mean, is that something that you like doing, or?
I like talking about legends, ghost stories, yeah.
You notice I keep asking you back. I'm usually pretty antsy moving around. I always manage to be able to sit down and listen to you. It's not like I didn't know what you were going to talk about, obviously, but I still find it very interesting. I had a great time, and we just, like I said, that was the 2nd class. Then last week we finished our 3rd class, and we had Becky McConathan, our case manager, and Michelle Maddox, our tranquility specialist. Becky went over, and I thought this was important. And here's the funny thing. I'm always worried about if we're boring the heck out of the class. But I think what you did and what you presented was really important. Butch going over, the types of hauntings and the equipment that's used for these particular hauntings. Then you coming in talking about legends of folk and the importance of doing your research. But also, again, when Becky come up and took the first part of the class, talking about taking on a case from your first contact, your first call, to closing of the case. I find that, it's somewhat boring maybe for some people, but it's what the investigation is about. That's what a paranormal investigation is. And then sometimes when you're at these locations and you're doing these investigations, sometimes bad things can happen. You've been pushed before. You've been grabbed before. I'm sure you have as well. That's when Michelle can come in and she can, talks about protecting yourself from, maybe darker or more negative energies that are out there. And these things are very real. So I think it was important that the class heard these things. This is truly an awesome class. I think this is one of our better classes. And they've worked hard. And they put their time in. They rolled up their sleeves and they followed us through with all this. And so this coming Thursday is our last class. I think we might have a comment or something.
Yeah, Carmen says, classes are fun. You should join, Chris.
Hi, Carmen. Hi, Dan. Ask her if Dan's watching. Carmen's from our class, our Ghost Hunting 101 class. I want to give her a shout out. Thanks for sitting and watching us tonight. And yes, Chris should be there more. Absolutely. I think we have one more.
Penny says, really enjoyed your presentation in class. Chris, can't wait until this Thursday.
There you go. What are we doing Thursday? We're getting to that.
Yeah.
And talking about the class, it's field trip day coming up this Thursday, and I want to take a minute. Really, this should be said. I thought about this afternoon, and first I want to thank the Toledo Yacht Club. So there's your announcement. That's where the class field trip's going to be, and this is exclusive to just our students. They paid for the class, they've done the work, they rolled up their sleeves and done everything they could. So this is a nice treat for this class. We're all going to meet at the Toledo Yacht Club. So I want to thank the Toledo Yacht Club, and I want to especially thank Chad and Heather from Erie Shores Paranormal. When we were at the Collingwood Arts Center, I got an opportunity to talk to him for a couple of minutes, and just in brief conversation, he had asked how my class was going, and I told him that we do the 3 classes, take a field trip, and where we were going to go down to a building downtown. He goes, hey, what do you think about maybe taking a look at the yacht club? And they had done Chad has done and Heather have done everything they possibly could to make this field trip as easy as possible. So the class has got a discounted price. I hope I can say that. And I'm looking forward to it. And it was just, what's really kind of cool about that, it wasn't but a few weeks ago or a month ago that Butch and I had an opportunity to come down with you to the Toledo Yacht Club. That show was on Ghost Hunters, where Jason and Steve had taken a look at it. And they had picked up an EVP. The place is allegedly haunted by a young boy, and his name was supposedly Jacob. They got a clear EVP on this show and said, I'm not Jacob. So maybe there's something else there. There's shadowy figures and other things. But when you did that investigation, how did you guys feel about that location? Is that haunted? I only investigated with you for up on an hour.
I think there's something there.
You think there's something there?
I don't think it's a little boy named Jacob, though.
Well, the EVP clearly said it wasn't Jacob. If you're going to go strictly on documented evidence that they captured, that's another location that has just a ton of great stories and a ton of great experiences. And like with anything, any location, you're going to have all kinds of really great stories and then very little documentation of it. Well, there was a whole nother extension of this where they talked about the bootlegging during Prohibition when they were bringing the illegal booze down from Canada and involved maybe the mafia and some other people. And there was a lot of deaths and the tragedies that were, either on the property or very close right there in the Great Lakes shoreline. So I think this is a great place for the class to do a field trip. Chad and Heather from Erie Shores Paranormal made this thing possible. And I talked to Chad again a couple of days ago. And happy birthday, Heather, by the way. I saw it was your birthday. This is what I want to do. And Butch and I thought this was important. The night of the field trip, we're going to bring in the boys, Nick and Steve Clockwell, to run cameras. But I wanted to break our group up. So we're going to go into 3 classes, 3 sessions. Give me 1 second, we'll answer that. This is an opportunity for my class, our class, to be able to work with some top-notch paranormal investigators from this area. So Butch is going to be working as a lead investigator, as well as our case manager, Becky, Michelle Maddox as well. But here's a nice treat for everybody, and I want the class to know this, and this is kind of a special announcement. Joe and Jennifer from 222 Paranormal are coming down to work with us. And you're also going to be there as one of our lead investigators. So every class, every team, and there's going to be 3 of them in 3 different locations in the building, keep switching. Every team is going to have 2 seasoned paranormal investigators with them. So like if you're working with Becky or something, you guys will lead that group, and Butch can work with like maybe Jennifer from 222 Paranormal, lead that group, and Joe and Michelle. So, and I think that's something special and unique all by itself. You know, you take a class field trip to a legendarily haunted place, a place that was our ghost hunters, and then you're working with some of your leading professionals, paranormal investigators from this area. That's worth its weight in gold to me. So I'm looking forward to it. Well, and the other thing is I was hoping that maybe you would bring some equipment and Joe would bring some of his equipment too. We have, 18 or so students that we have to put equipment in their hands. So
Right.
I'm really looking forward to this. And once again, I want to thank Chad and Heather for allowing us to go down there. So we're going to start that investigation Thursday. We'll end it up at the end. We'll sign our class completion certificates that they get and a little test that we always give out to our students. And I'm kind of sad to see it end. The other great news is we're off for a couple of weeks and the Ghost Hunting 102 starts at Owen. So, and by the way, I'm going to say this because I think it's important. If anybody is interested in Ghost Hunting 102, I want you to get a hold of Owens Community College. And I know I have the information somewhere, okay? Well, maybe I don't. But it's Owens Community College on Oregon Road out in Perrysburg. Get a hold of them, Ghost Hunting 102. It's all over Facebook. And you share my stuff as well. So we had a comment or something again?
Yeah, Shelly said that would be a great experience. I'm going to have to sign up for your next Owens class.
Good. I'm looking forward to seeing her there. I think, we're going to get more in depth with that class. I want to make the show all about the class, but I think the students are special. I think they worked hard, and I think, I should give them a few minutes of time here on the Ghost Talk. And you're coming out to the Ghost Hunting 102 as well, right?
Yeah.
Our second or third class again, and you're going to get more in depth. And one of the things you and I had talked about, I really want you to help explain some of these equipments, like, a K2 meter picks up, radio frequencies and other things. And I think all these things are important. So, so that's what we got going on Thursday. We got a busy week coming up.
Sure do.
And then Saturday, we're going to all be at the Paracon, Glass City Paracon. And I think anybody who wants to go to that, and I know I sound like an advertisement, but I think it's important that we say this as well. The Glass City Paragon's going to be in the audio-visual building out at Owens Community College. And you can get a hold of Al if you got any questions. I know there's some tickets. I don't know if there's any VIP or tickets. Dustin Perry from Ghost Hunters is going to be there to do the investigation that night. You were one of the guest speakers at the Collingwood Arts Center. Al Luna from PSEI has asked me if I would speak at this one. I think I'm going to be speaking at 2:30, so I'm kind of excited about that. I hope I don't have to speak before or after Dustin Perry, though, from Ghost Hunters. I want to thank Gap separated. But there's going to be some really cool people out there. Besides Dustin Perry from Ghost Hunters being there, my Aunt Patricia is going to be out there, one of the psychic mediums. Linda Dix is going to be there. And those are some pretty respected ladies. So I think there's plenty of tickets left for that. If you want to come out to the Glass City Paracon out at Owens Community College, the tickets are still at brownpapertickets.com, I think.
Yeah.
You can get tickets. I don't know how much the tickets are. I can't remember, but they're not that much.
$10 or $15.
Yeah, something like that. But Al Luna is asking everybody to bring a donation, and they'll be put in a name for some type of a drawing, and all the proceeds go to the Toledo Food Bank and the Make-A-Wish Foundation. So I think that's a great cause right there. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it. So anybody that can make it out to the Savannah Historical Society Wednesday, or if you can't make it to the Paracon 2017 Saturday, come out and meet our teams. You can get to talk to Chris Tillman in person. Taco, we have someone else?
Yeah, this one's for Butch from Shannon. Does Butch ever get scared when experiencing spirit contact?
No, I don't.
Well, that was kind of subtle, don't you think?
No, if you get scared, the spirit will know it and it'll come back at you. You got to keep your composure, and you got to go settle that way, because they prey on that.
Yeah, it's interesting that you said that, and you have the same belief system. Negative energies feed off of fear. They feed off those things. So, if you show fear, that does nothing but fuel them, makes them a little bit stronger. So, I don't think we've ever been, yes, I guess I have been scared a few times. I've always said it's not so much the dead I'm afraid of, it's more the living. But, sometimes you get in a certain place. We were down in Point Pleasant, West Virginia, doing the Mothman, and we were in one of the bunkers, and this guy, you ever see those 3D drawings that you put in the sidewalk? It looks like you're gonna fall in a hole. Well, they put one of those on the wall inside a bunker, dark as dark, Chris. You couldn't see your hand in front of your face.
Yeah.
So I turned around, I got like vision, and there the Mothman jumped out of the wall at me. I jumped. And Butch can't wait to tell that story, so I beat him to the punch this time. We were talking about fear. That was a great question, though.
Yes, it was.
So I think that's a great question. Well, I don't think we should keep everybody on. I don't know what time it is, but I know we're probably.
We got 20 of 8.
Yeah, we're pushing a little bit. So I want to thank everybody for joining the show tonight. I want to thank you for coming out and joining us. So you got the Bowen House done. You got the Toledo Repertory Theater done. You got the Commodore Perry of the First Look. You probably got tons and tons of hours of analyzing to do. So how's your crew doing? How are these? You know, I sent out something message to Ryan last night. I was kind of sitting back. I had the night off last night, so I was enjoying having a good time. And I was trying to harass your crew while they were working. And I seen the live video feed from Sarah, and I saw Ryan's. But I think Nicole put something out too. So I've been following these guys. It looks like your crew's doing really well. It looks like a pretty good crew. And Jeff has joined you and he was in one of our Ghost Hunting 101 classes as well, remember? And that was one of the ones that you spoke to. So Jeff has joined your staff as well. And what really interests me is he's working on this whole audio thing where you can get sound from the DVR cameras back into the DVR, which will make our lives so much easier. I can't tell you how many times that I've left recorders in the rooms with DVRs, and we're picking up voices, we're picking up EVPs. I don't know how they do it on Ghost Adventures and Ghost Hunters, besides they have a ton of money, but I mean, it sure looks easy and looks good on television. It's not as easy as it looks, is it?
No.
So always trying to, make our equipment better. Equipment is a huge investment. Uncle Jeff and I scrolled up and we just bought a new camera yesterday. They said it's gonna be here tomorrow, but I doubt it would be here that fast, but we bought a new full spectrum handheld camera. So, I still like the equipment, but we're constantly updating our equipment all the time. So anyways, I hope I thanked everybody. There's some flyers in it. Do me a favor if you get a chance. For anybody that follows the Toledo Ohio Ghost Hunters Society Facebook page, you get to see Butch, what Butch is up to, and what I'm up to, and Becky and Michelle and the team. I want to say for a minute, I want to thank the boys again for coming out tonight. They're the ones that do the audio and video on this thing, because I really don't have any clue how it's done. So I want to thank Nick and Chris, and I want to thank you for all you do and what you do for the public. I think what you're doing is needed. Sometimes you're very humble. I don't know so much if you think, I think you're doing a service for your clients. And I think, it's a give and take world, and I think you're giving back just as much as you're taking out of it. I like it. I like what you're doing, and I like tagging along sometimes. So I got to stay buddies with you, even if we're in disagreements, because I want to go to some of these places that you've been to, and you've invited me to a place that we won't talk about again tonight, but we'll talk about it soon. So we have a lot of things going on together this year. I'm hoping to be able to work with Chris for this year. I mean, obviously Chris is really busy right now. Butch and I are busy every day as well. Halloween's fast approaching, and then we're going to get right back to the grindstone. We have a big case that we're working on together jointly, and I can't wait to get back to that. So
yeah, it's definitely needed to be
absolutely
started up again.
Sure, we need to get going again. We're just, it's Halloween time. So anyways, join us again here next Sunday for Ghost Talk, 7 o'clock on Sunday. Thanks again, Chris, for coming out to
Thank you.
enjoy some time with me. Butch, as always, we'll talk to you later. Guys, stay safe and happy hauntings.